Manchester, England. We're getting ready for Kostya Tszyu versus Ricky Hatton for the IBF 140-pound championship. As we get it back up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Welterweight or Light Welterweight Championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Manchester, England, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing blue trunks with black and silver trim, proudly representing his home of Manchester, England. He weighed in at 9 stone, 13 3/4 pounds, or 139 3/4 US pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign of the ring, 38 wins, no losses, 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger, but holds the WBU Light Welterweight Championship. Please welcome the sensational IBF #1 ranked Light Welterweight contender. Here is boxing's pride of Manchester, introducing the undefeated Ricky the Hitman Hatton. His opponent across the ring, the defending champion. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing a black trunks, fighting out of Sydney, Australia, by way of Sarov, Russia. He weighed in at 10 stone even, or right at the limit of 140 US pounds. His record stands at 31 wins, 1 defeat, 1 no decision, with 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former undisputed world champion. Here is the 2-time and current IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the world, introducing Kostya Tszyu. Once again, a referee in charge, Dave Parris, now to give instruction.
Both in the dressing room, boys, you know what I expect. Keep your punches on target, punch with the knuckle part of the glove. If one of you goes down, the other go to the furthest reach of the corner. Break when I tell you to, defend yourself at all times. Good luck to you both.
Will it be an unforgettable night of boxing here in Manchester, England? We're certainly off to a maddening start all week long. Ricky Hatton was telling us we haven't seen half of what he's got, insisting his boxing ability and defense were underrated. Well, now is his moment of truth to show Kostya Tszyu and the world. They immediately get into a grapple. If Tszyu is on, Hatton will have to be at his sharpest. He'll need the performance of his life as they continue to wrestle here out of the gate.
Hatton getting on the inside already. You know, this first round, very, very important. Kostya Tszyu often lets people do very well in the first round. Mitchell and Judah did very well. Of course, he knocked them out shortly after. He lures you in. And remember, Hatton was knocked down by a counter right hand by M.E.N early in the fight. The right hand of Tszyu is what we want to look for early.
Ricky Hatton can't afford even the slightest mistake. That's when Tszyu strikes swiftest and hardest. And you're right about Tszyu. He can lull you into a false sense of confidence.
Hatton is jabbing his way in, which is a good idea. However, he is not moving laterally on the inside, and he's making himself an easy target for Tszyu's counterpunches.
Ordinarily, Hatton may throw more punches, but Tszyu hits harder. And his punch is not only strong, it's well-timed and accurate, quick and straight. Hatton, no doubt, on the lookout for Tszyu's right hand. His money punch.
This fight, while it will be all action, and you can see, is a cerebral war. caution for hitting behind the head. A warning from Dave Parris to Hatton.
Some roughhouse tactics early by the hometown Hatton.
For Ricky Hatton, being on the inside and smothering Tszyu is a good idea early. He has to get through these early rounds. He's got to get this fight into the 4th and 5th, where presumably his body attack and aggression and youth can help him.
A very rugged physical start to this fight. A minute left in the opening round. And again, Dave Parris with words. The crowd will roar every time Hatton even comes close to landing. Tszyu said he wanted to keep the fight from a distance. Here comes Ricky Hatton.
You can just see the wheels turning in Kostya Tszyu's head as he looks for the big counterpunch, and he's landed some very nice ones in round 1. Not the punch yet.
Kostya Tszyu, ordinarily not a fast starter, so you can't always go by this first round.
And yet this has been a very even and fiercely fought first round. But again, as you point out, Hatton's gotten a few things done.
Remember, you just got to use the situation I was going through now. You know it's a fight, you know what I'm saying? You're counting on the center, you're counting back and up. Sometimes you can just slide past and then you're in. And you get the opponent's side. Just let's take away from this.
This was a rough first round. And here's where Hatton ends up hitting behind the head and gets a warning from Dave Parris. Hatton wants to make this a roughhouse fight on the inside if he cannot be at mid-range. Now here's where Hatton got to be very aggressive, kind of bulled Tszyu against the ropes. Didn't land anything of consequence, but exerted his control for a moment or two.
Seconds up, round 2.
There's the notion that if Hatton can get through about 4 or 5 rounds, the pendulum might swing, with the hope that the champion's age and Hatton's youth would become factors. And more cautioning from Dave Parris, who's trying to take control here. Hatton back to work.
To say that Ricky Hatton went to school on this, just moments before he came out here, he was still watching films of Kostya Tszyu in his dressing room. Let's see if it helped him at all.
Hatton trying to smother Tszyu with that suffocating approach. Firing away. The usual high work rate, high punch volume by Hatton.
That's the first really good body shot Ricky Hatton has landed. He has not gone there as much as we have thought earlier. He's working well on the inside here against Tszyu.
So Hatton, his strategy, jumping right on Tszyu here in the second round.
This is very smart by Ricky Hatton, and Dave Parris not jumping in to break them.
Hatton looking to wear Tszyu out. Remember, Tszyu is 35. He insists he's stronger and smarter with age, that the Tszyu at 35 would destroy the Tszyu of 25. He says he's a fresh 35 because of the inactivity. But Hatton is hoping that Tszyu gets old before his eyes. Missing, but keeping up the pace and dictating.
The distance Ricky Hatton has right now is perfect, especially for these early rounds.
Short, crisp uppercuts by Hatton that are scoring.
Tszyu would want Dave Parris to break them now, but he's not doing it.
The upset-minded Ricky Hatton storming. inside.
Kostya Tszyu has not been able to keep Hatton at long distance in this fight, even medium distance. Remember, he told us on the inside it's not an interesting fight. You can't get anything done. Well, he's wrong. Ricky Hatton's getting something done on the inside.
Bouncing around, showing the energy of this crowd. Ricky Hatton coming forward. Big round for Ricky Hatton.
You all right, mate? Get your arms down, mate. Get your arms down, mate. There we go, son. Tell us who. Good boy. Let's keep it in the centre, mate. Hit him hard with a jab. Make him move. Side to side, Koss. Okay, mate?
On the inside, Ricky Hatton has done a superb job landing uppercuts, working the body fairly well, and the point is just keeping Kostya Tszyu, look at those uppercuts, keeping Kostya Tszyu from hitting him with those counterpunches as he comes in. This was the strategy we assumed Ricky would employ. It's worked very well. And even in the center of the ring, when he pushes him back, when he gets him against the ropes, Ricky Hatton is very effective. And one of the keys to that sequence, Steve, is that Hatton made him miss as he came in. That's important.
In addition to using his fists, Hatton using his body to push and pull Kostya Tszyu. What a start to the third round. The first round was close. The second round was all Ricky Hatton being tenacious. A bundle of energy who looks to dominate. Let's see if Tszyu can turn things here in the third.
Tszyu is counterpunching much better early in this round, and that was a monstrous right hand. He woke up Kostya Tszyu. Fairly successful, though not in this round. He's coming in much too off balance. He's not jabbing his way in and just being balanced. When he leans like that, he'll get hit with something big by Tszyu.
And remember, Tszyu said the longer this fight goes, the more chance for Hatton to make a mistake, for Tszyu to land the right. And all it takes is a split second. We saw it against South Judah, against Shambe Mitchell. He had Mitchell down 4 times. Hits coming perilously close.
On a hit,
Hey, Parris had something to say about that. Little left hook to the head by Tszyu. Not a lot of power, though, behind it.
Tszyu, his left hook is not his money punch, but he has a pretty good one. He's thrown it a lot in this fight. Not that he came in here planning to do it, to throw Hatton off because Hatton expected the right hand.
And he has that educated jab, but Hatton is keeping him from throwing it.
Finally, a good left hook to the body by Hatton, but it's around Kostya Tszyu is for the most part controlled.
Hatton continues to suffocate Tszyu. There's that left hook sticking to the body by Tszyu, showing a little more confidence all of a sudden.
And there's Hatton ripping to the body on the inside. He has not gotten too much into the body.
Both throw debilitating hooks to the body. That right hand blocked by Hatton.
Tszyu has really picked up the pace in this third round. And now is the moment, I think, when we're going to find out something about Ricky Hatton.
Meanwhile, Hatton looking to finish strong here in the third as the final seconds tick down.
Sometimes shift to the side. When I push him and shove him, he'll use the same amount of energy as him. You know what I mean? Just stay on him, but sometimes he's to the side, let him fucking go through you. You know what I'm saying? He might stumble through you then, then he can catch him with something. Yeah. He's just got to steady with this and wait for him to dwindle a little bit, you know what I mean? Once he's got a little bit bit slower, just keep chipping away. If you just keep pushing and pushing, a bullet again.
Kostya Tszyu early in the round lands this lead right hand. That is precisely what he would like to do more of in this fight, and he did unload that punch several times in the third round. And is he just a right-hand puncher? Look at that excellent body work, and then he will come with this superb uppercut that stunned Hatton momentarily. It shows you the versatility of Tszyu.
The fourth round, Hatton unmarked. There was some concern about whether he'd cut. A history of cutting, although not in the last 8 or 9 fights. Hatton continues to apply the intense pressure.
I don't remember a fight in which we've seen so many effective uppercuts. In fact, we might go back, though, to Castillo and Parris. They both used uppercuts, but these fighters both going for it.
Hatton just walked into one. Both winging left hooks. Here's a good one on the inside by Hatton. Upstairs. Missing with that.
You know, Ricky Hatton's getting away with lunging in and putting himself into a position where he can hit with counter punches, but so far hasn't been hit with one that has hurt him.
And Kostya Tszyu, an exquisite counter puncher. Tszyu very patient. Tszyu, who came back from a 22-month layoff to defeat Shambe Mitchell in convincing fashion in November, and now in this fight with Ricky Hatton.
Only 9 rounds in 3 years for Kostya Tszyu. Hatton believes that will make him rusty. Tszyu, of course, says it makes him rested. We'll find out who's right. Both have landed excellent right hands in this round. And you know what? We already have our answer on Ricky Hatton. He can hang with Kostya Tszyu. He's doing it pretty darn well.
Oh, he just got tagged with a left hand at Hatton.
But that's the difference between being hit with Kostya Tszyu's best left hook and his best right hand. You get hit with his best right hand like that, and you're down.
And then Hatton digging to the body with the left hand. Hatton's been down only once in his career against M.E.N McGee here in Manchester in June '02, and it happened in the first round. Came back to win by decision.
Very close fourth round. Tszyu has gotten a lot done in the last minute and a half after a good start by Hatton.
Right!
Tszyu showing the jab. And a countering shot by Hatton. Well timed. And Hatton with a little poke after the belt.
Give him a water drink. Put your hands down, mate. Put your hands down.
That's it. Get that on. That's it.
Mate, we can't be on the ropes, Kost. We've got to bang him onto the big right hand, mate. We've got to get him with it. Balk with something, Kost. Or just faint with it and then...
Ricky Hatton on the inside lands a nice right hand against Kostya Tszyu, a short right hand. And he's been effective with that punch. We expected more left hooks from Hatton and to be countered by the Tszyu right. But the right hand's been effective for Hatton. Here's Kostya Tszyu and Hatton hitting at the bell, but no anger apparently.
And they both come in throwing, winging. To begin round 5, scheduled for 12 for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. Left hook to the head by Kostya Tszyu.
You know, the interesting thing is Ricky Hatton has had a 6-month layoff. That's the longest of his career, but in his case, you can really make the case that he said he needed that rest. He fights a very strong pace every year, and he felt that that was going to help him prepare better for this fight.
There was a concern over his weight between fights. He's actually 147 now. Kostya Tszyu is 149.5. IBF rules a weigh-in again the morning of the fight.
Now there's combinations. There's combinations from Hatton. If we see in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round that Hatton, the younger man, starts throwing more and more combinations and less from Tszyu, that's an interesting sign, and it may tell us something about whether Tszyu can keep up this pace.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the 5th. Here's a look at press row. Ron Borges from the Boston Globe, John Dillon from the Daily Express here in the UK, Colin Hart from the Sun. Of course, those are unofficial. They've got Hatton by majority decision to this point.
Hatton's having himself a very nice 5th round. Tszyu has not been able to counter him as he comes in, although there was a nice right hand, but it's not hurting Hatton as he comes in when he does get hit with those punches. Stylistically, this fight is working for the most part in Ricky Hatton's favor. And you know, ironically, Hatton isn't showing as much of the boxing skill as he did against Ben Tackney. He's been more of a brawler here, and yet he's getting away with it.
Kostya Tszyu got here a couple of weeks ago to acclimate to the UK timings. Very odd start time for this fight, 2 a.m. And Tszyu missing wildly there.
You know what was interesting about that sequence? It was Kostya Tszyu initiating action, which shows you that he's thinking, I've got to make something happen. And if he does too much initiating, it takes him out of his game plan. So the plot is definitely thickening here.
Kostya Tszyu told us his punch was built for this fight. But so far, we haven't seen it. Capacity crowd of about 22,000 here at the M.E.N Arena in Manchester, England. This place sold out 2.5 hours after tickets went on sale back in March.
You're not quite getting enough room for your own punch because you've got to stay close. Do you know what I mean? You're just pushing him straight on, just round, but stay on him round and get people got up inside. Well, you stick to him like glue. You're not using your better quality of stuff from the inside, do you know what I mean? You can still send him and get uppercut inside. You can get it really close. You've got to chip away in, but still, it's the same. He's still trying to take the set off. And he'll come out with that fucking big bomb again.
Got it out, yeah.
Capacity crowd here at the fabled M.E.N, the Manchester Evening News Arena. Ricky Hatton firing away. Had Tszyu off balance, bouncing off the ropes.
That was the best left hook Ricky Hatton has landed to the head in this fight, and it pushed Kostya Tszyu back. The irony of this fight is Ricky Hatton hasn't been as technically sound as we thought he would need to be, but guess what? He is getting the job done with sheer determination and pressure. And I'll tell you what, on the inside, if Dave Parris was breaking them more, it would have hurt Ricky Hatton. There he gets in, but he's letting them fight on the inside, probably rightfully so.
And straight ahead, Ricky Hatton marching on, missing with the left, but just continues to throw. High volume, as always, tenacious, ferocious.
I won't say this is a flat performance by Kostya Tszyu, but he's not absolutely at his best. And we saw him against Ackerman, even against James Leha, where he was just a little subpar. And the problem is, if you're a little subpar against a 26-year-old who feels he can beat you and it gives you constant pressure, you might have a problem.
A 26-year-old who is eager, hungry. That was the big hope here in Manchester, that Tszyu would be somewhat flat, at the same time Hatton elevating his game.
Now, as well as Hatton's doing in some of these rounds, one thing he's not doing is getting good body shots in. And I know he wants to weaken the older fighter for later in this bout. So that's one thing I would think they would really want him to do, in addition to those uppercuts they're asking from the inside.
There was absolutely no trash talking before this fight. Mutual respect 100%. The love-in is over as the jab starts to find a home along with the right hand by Tszyu.
That was a telling sequence. A jab and a right hand landed by Tszyu, but it didn't slow down Hatton's assault. And then he was able to land good body shots.
All of a sudden, Tszyu picking up some steam here. Late in round 6, Hatton comes marching in.
That's the good counterpunching we expected from Tszyu, and it might be enough to get him right back into this round.
Another caution from Dave Parris to Hatton. Watch the head. Hatton missing with the right hand.
Good work by Kostya Tszyu in the last 45 seconds of this round. It might be enough to win him the round. He's gotten a better distance during this portion. That's why he's able to land these counterpunches to the outside.
Tszyu all of a sudden looking very energized here as we head for the bell.
Pull him off, pull him off.
Ricky Hatton working on the inside against Kostya Tszyu, pushing against the ropes. And there's a good kind of half hook, half jab, and good work to the body as well. Now, the early part of the round, Hatton was very, very effective. Even landing some excellent right hands. That one kind of pushed Kostya Tszyu back. But you see Tszyu doing some counterpunching there. As the round wore on, Kostya Tszyu was able to do some very effective counterpunching. But here, look what happens. Kostya Tszyu, Hatton keeps coming after a good straight left and right is landed by Tszyu. And that's a very interesting point in this fight.
That's got to be discouraging to Kostya Tszyu as he unleashed the right. Ricky Hatton unfazed when it landed. I wonder if you can make an argument that the ropes saved Tszyu from a knockdown about 20 seconds into that 6th round. Round 7. Scheduled for 12 for the IBF 140-pound title. Ricky Hatton facing the #1 junior welterweight in the world in Kostya Tszyu. Kostya Tszyu, almost a 4-1 favorite in Las Vegas by the odds makers coming into this fight. So this one really raising some eyebrows.
The last time Kostya Tszyu had to go into the 7th round was in May of 2002 against Ben Tackey, a fight he won in 12. So he's in some territory he hasn't been in for a while. Of course, the injuries that kept him off for 22 months are a big part of that.
Press row becoming intriguing. Ron Borges has it even.
I have it exactly the way Ron Borges does. I have it even at 57-57. And now we have to start talking about whether the judges will be influenced by this crowd. Hatton not even bothering to defend as he comes in. It's interesting. Now he's taking counter punches, but it's almost as if he's not worried about being hurt. But Kostya Tszyu doing some pretty good counter punching now. Oh, good hook by Hatton.
Hatton upstairs with a combination as Tszyu just clubs away at Hatton's head. Finally, it's broken up. Left hook up there by Kostya Tszyu. That snapped Hatton back momentarily, but then he comes back forward. If you're just tuning in, no knockdowns. Right hand by Ricky Hatton, but it didn't have full impact.
Hatton's punches are a little wide, a little looping. He's not getting good leverage into a lot of the shots, but he's continuing to press forward.
Good straight right hand by Kostya Tszyu, but it didn't phase Hatton.
Tszyu has countered very well in this round, though. If the judges are paying attention, this is Kostya Tszyu's round, despite the aggression of Ricky Hatton.
A mouse under the left eye of Kostya Tszyu. Starting well. A body shot. Hatton is down, but they're calling it a slip. Let's see if Parris is calling it a slip or a knockdown. He waved it off.
Well, that may have been a low blow. We'll have to wait and see, but either way.
So no knockdown.
Hold it all down. Let him on. Right.
They don't allow microphones on the referees here in the UK, and that's why we can't hear what he's saying, which we normally do.
Hatton with a flurry just before the bell landed with a left hook to the head.
You've got to slip his jab and use your as you're coming in. So snap his head back a little bit, then you can get in. I want you getting back up on the ropes where he's not as dangerous. But then you've got to do your work. Do what you do best and give him angles stepping round. But don't come too far out. Don't give anyone to punch you back. But now you've got to start giving him something. You'll get him to the head. You're not when he's throwing shots, you're not slipping and counting him. Do you know what I mean? Slip and bang that jab.
Here's where Kostya Tszyu landed a left hook. It may have been low. We'll see. And I think it knocked Ricky Hatton down. Well, it was on the belt line. Might have been a little low. Hatton went down. You have to either call that a knockdown, or you have to definitively say it was a low punch, and as a result, you're going to give him some time. Now, we can't hear Dave Parris, so maybe he did. But if that had been a little higher, it would have been a knockdown.
It looked like it was right on the belt, and
close call.
You could have made an argument for a knockdown.
Yes, you could.
Round 8.
We're headed into some very interesting territory in this fight. It's obviously got to be close on the scorecard. Who can step it up right now? Good left landed a moment ago by Hatton. If Hatton's jab was working a little better in this fight, he would really be able to get some things done. Good hook again by Hatton.
Hatton continues to look impressive, even if it may not be the right strategy against a guy like Kostya Tszyu, as you point out.
Well, you know, it's the right strategy. It's just that he's not employing it as we thought he would have to win this fight. His defense is a little lax. His punches are a little wide. He's not moving his head as much. And yet, with all that, he's getting enough done to get on the inside to hurt Kostya Tszyu and hit him. So it's pure aggression by Hatton. What we thought was that Kostya Tszyu would stop him with a big counterpunch when he was going to do that. But that hasn't really happened.
I should say the perceived strategy. Left hook there to the head by Hatton that scored.
He is getting the hook in now a lot. Now, the big thing you still have to say, though, is I think he wanted to get more body work done early in the fight. That would slow you down in these later rounds. But, boy, look at the jab of Hatton. When that punch works for him, he's in business. He's had a good round, Ricky Hatton.
There's no question that Ricky Hatton, even before this thing ends, demonstrating, signaling that he belongs on the world stage with Kostya Tszyu.
He's arrived in the junior welterweight division. Let the naysayers stop with Ricky Hatton. He belongs.
Less than a minute remaining in round 8 as they continue to sing and chant here at the M.E.N. Arena.
Many people would have been surprised even to have Ricky Hatton in the hunt in the 8th round, and he's certainly in the hunt. Tszyu not precise with his counterpunching in this round.
A push by Tszyu.
Is that a sign of some desperation by Kostya Tszyu or frustration?
And back comes Ricky Hatton. A countering straight right by Tszyu.
has fought every second of every round and not given Kostya Tszyu a chance to rest. He said that would take its toll on Tszyu. It might be starting to right now.
Now you've got to keep on plugging away. Yeah, throw some punches as you're coming in. Yeah. You're blocking off, slipping, then you're just falling and not doing that yourself. You're stopping it, but you're not getting off on it yourself. Just slip and slide as he's usually doing. Just bang the jab in him, that screw shot. You'll snap his head back, then you can give him something. You can give him something. Yeah, you've got to start coming.
Ricky Hatton's payoff punch is his left hook. He's starting to land it with some regularity. There's a nice uppercut on the inside, and then the left hook just whistles past Kostya Tszyu's head, but he's able to land that left hand very effectively on the inside.
10 seconds, corner.
Tszyu kind of pushed Ricky Hatton down to the canvas. Is this some frustration? Is it fatigue by Kostya Tszyu? Either way, their feet got tangled up and down went Hatton. Luckily for Hatton, he wasn't injured.
And Tszyu comes out fast to start round 9. Countering to the body. Uppercuts on the inside by Ricky.
You know, it's turned into more of a battle of hooks than we thought, Steve, and that's not good for Kostya Tszyu. He needed the right hand to get there. And you know, I said he's not throwing too many left hooks to the body, Hatton. Maybe that's by design. He doesn't want to get countered over on the top by the right hand of Kostya Tszyu. So it could be a good ploy on his part.
The hook would favor the hometown hero, Hatton. That's his signature punch.
We talked about the crowd and its effect. As the fight wears on for Ricky Hatton, not bad to hear 22,000 people cheering for you. It could be inspiration as he heads down the stretch in a battle of attrition. And right now, in round 9, just as in round 8, Ricky Hatton is the fresher of the two fighters and the more active of the two. Now here's a news flash. They traded right hands and Hatton's was better. I didn't ever expect to hear myself say that during this fight. Wow, that's interesting. I have the fight dead even at 76-76, but you can make the case for Tszyu being ahead by a point or two.
They feel the tide has turned the last 3 rounds for Kostya Tszyu. They've got it. Unanimous decision for Tszyu.
See, the part I disagree with is I think Hatton's done well in I think he's won 2 of the last 3 rounds. He's certainly winning this one.
We approach the final minute of round 9.
This has been an excellent round for Hatton.
And Hatton looking as fresh as in the first round.
This is a very, very close fight. Make no mistake about it, but it's there to be won by either man.
I asked Kostya Tszyu the other day if he thought he needed to knock Hatton out in Manchester, and he said, it doesn't matter.
You think he's going to rethink that answer right now?
Absolutely. Parris cautioning Kostya Tszyu about low blows.
Oh, Hatton hit him low.
A body shot by Hatton. And it's not a knockdown. He's saying it's low.
That punch was very low by Ricky Hatton.
He's asking Tszyu if he's okay, and Tszyu kind of shook his head as if to say, not really.
Now, he can get up to 5 minutes here if he wants to shake this off. And if I was Kostya Tszyu, I'd take as long as I could. That's the kind of a punch, legal or not legal, that can turn a fight around. Gil Clancy, Mike, the great trainer and broadcaster, always said to his guys, they hit you low, go hit him low. That's exactly what Ricky Hatton did, and he has had a lot more force than Tszyu.
Well, let's see how Tszyu retaliates now. As Dave Parris brings them together. says no more shenanigans.
That could be a seminal moment in this fight. Ricky Hatton is treating it that way.
So Hatton down from a low blow earlier, and now Tszyu here in round 9.
It's a strong basket. You know, it's tight, you've got to dig deep now and fucking start throwing more shots, you know what I mean? Still the same, be safe, but get them shots to the head, slip it, bang, ram that jabbing as you're coming in. It'll give you some time to get in position to do some other work. Come on, because we want his head. Fucking drench him in it. Do you understand? You got fucking three rounds.
Kostya Tszyu goes down low. That was the first low punch. And that was, then he got a warning from Dave Parris. Ricky Hatton, however, not to be outdone, comes back and he throws his left with a vengeance low. That was almost pinpointed by Ricky Hatton. You can't tell me that wasn't intentional.
That was south of the border and much lower than Tszyu's offering earlier.
And no point deducted, but it was the first one of its kind from Hatton.
See the welt under the eye of Kostya Tszyu. Hatton comes out winging, round 10. Both rapid punching now, very roughhouse. The warning from Dave Parris, a left hook to the neck by Ricky Hatton, a lunging hook.
Tszyu said he was going 12 rounds easily in sparring with young sparring partners, saw no problem in going 12. We're headed into the championship rounds now, and it will be up to Tszyu to show a little more energy than he has in the last round or so.
Tszyu momentarily put off balance by that overhand right by Hatton.
Pressure by Ricky Hatton, and even if it's not all effective, it is dictating the pace and tempo of this fight.
It was being billed as the fight of Ricky Hatton's life. It's turning into the fight of Kostya Tszyu's life.
He's not faced this in a long, long time.
He's being pushed to the brink. And when was the last time you could say that about Kostya Tszyu?
Good uppercut on the inside by Tszyu, but it doesn't deter Hatton. He keeps coming.
Great right hand by Ricky Hatton. Relentless.
Now, the interesting thing is Tszyu's doing some pretty good counterpunching, but I don't know if it's enough to be winning in this round, because Hatton is also working well, especially on the inside.
No let-up from Hatton as per usual.
Hatton has not thrown the uppercut. Nice right. He has not thrown the uppercut on the inside as much as they want in the last couple of rounds. And that would be a big weapon for him.
More pressure from Hatton. Taking Kostya Tszyu clear across the ring. It's a 20-foot ring. There's the jab by Hatton, countering straight right by Tszyu. But Hatton unfazed, presses on.
And you know, the perception of the way this fight is being fought, even if Tszyu lands enough counter punches to think maybe he could win the round, it's the constant pressure of Hatton and the fact that he's pushing the champion back that may help Hatton in the scoring.
Straight right hand that landed by Kostya Tszyu, but Ricky Hatton all over Tszyu.
Tremendous uppercut may have hurt Tszyu.
A barrage by Ricky Hatton, right hand landed to the chin. Sequence by Hatton, another straight right hand.
Did you see Hatton push him off? It's almost like an act of bravado, saying, hey, I'm here and I'm taking control of this fight.
And Hatton landing a right just before the bell.
Costing the beast now for 2 rounds, mate, making this. Cost talk to be made.
Ricky Ricky Hatton working on the inside, bullying Kostya Tszyu. There's the uppercut that has been so effective for him, and the counter. Look at the body work. The difference is Hatton is throwing many more combinations than Kostya Tszyu, and a blistering right hand lands to the head of Kostya Tszyu. Now that was interesting because Kostya Tszyu landing from the outside, but it doesn't really deter Hatton. He throws his own right at the end of the round.
The championship rounds, round 11. How round 10 was scored by the official judges could be pivotal in this fight.
Constant pressure from Ricky Hatton.
Hatton again on the attack. Pushes Tszyu back with a straight right to the chin. Tszyu with almost a dazed look on his face.
You know, Kostya Tszyu was insistent that the longer this fight went, the more likely Hatton would make the one mistake that would allow him to knock him out. Now, maybe he still will, but he hasn't so far. Good work by Tszyu for a moment.
Tszyu perhaps thinking that way, waiting for that magical moment.
He could have waited too long. Now, Hatton has walked into a few of those good counter punches in this round. A look at the press row scoring. I have it 96-94 for Ricky Hatton. We are headed to a close decision.
It is that close. Can Kostya Tszyu pull out a decision in Manchester?
Good right hand by Hatton. The last half of this round, a very important and pivotal time in this fight. Because the first part of this round, very close.
Remember, Kostya Tszyu, the champion, very difficult for the challenger, even on his home turf, to pull out a victory in a close fight over the champion.
Who would have ever thought Ricky Hatton could walk in and throw sweeping left hooks like that, eschew defense completely, and not get hit by counterpunches by Kostya Tszyu?
Final minute of round 11. Ricky Hatton, the underdog for the first time in his 38-fight career. Putting on a dazzling show here against the man considered supreme at 140 over the last decade.
This will be a very difficult round to score. A lot of pressure from Hatton, some good counter punching by Kostya Tszyu. Who did the better work? And who has the most left for round 12? Wow.
Ricky Hatton. You'll hear a roar at the bell. A stumble by Hatton.
And Kostya Tszyu did nothing to take advantage of that. He's a tired fighter. So is Hatton, I think.
You can't stop now. He's fucked.
This fight right now is a lot about Ricky Hatton doing very well. It's also about Kostya Tszyu slowing down at age 35. And that's to take nothing away from Hatton's performance. It's been superb.
Kostya Tszyu not coming out for the 12th
with the fight so close, it's astonishing that Kostya Tszyu did not come out for that last round. You would have thought he would have done so, but obviously he was either hurt or injured. We'll find all that out. What a moment for Ricky Hatton.
Carol and Ray Hatton, the parents of Ricky Hatton, embracing Matthew Hatton, the brother, family and friends, rejoicing at ringside for Ricky Hatton as Kostya Tszyu doesn't come out for the 12th round in a very close fight.
This is one of those boxing stories that will have a big afterlife.
What an upset in Manchester.
Years ago, Lloyd Hunnigan upset Donald Curry in a fight that no one except those in Britain thought he could win. This one, like that, but of much bigger magnitude.
Ricky Hatton administering a punishing assault throughout 11 rounds on Kostya Tszyu, and he is victorious.
What an improbable ending. And of course, as he lives the joy here, Ricky Hatton, he told us before the fight, he's watching Sky TV, and they were talking about how if he won, he would be in the pantheon of great athletes in Britain, and he said it was hard for me to even imagine that being the case. Well, right now, it's reality.
He's such a down-to-earth kid. He can't believe the attention he garners. He can't believe it himself. There are 3 franchises in this city: Manchester United, Manchester City, and Ricky Hatton. We're going to momentarily play what happened in the corner of Kostya Tszyu to help us explain the thinking that occurred. Kostya Tszyu embracing with the winner, Ricky Hatton, the hitman, has hit the jackpot. He is on top of the boxing world. His date with destiny turns into a victorious reality as he upsets Kostya Tszyu. Synonymous with 140-pound supremacy, the better part of the last 10 years, and one of the best in the world coming in at any weight. Hatton remains undefeated, now 39-0.
A quick point. Ricky Hatton trained more at 2 a.m. in the morning than Kostya Tszyu did. Kostya Tszyu refused to change his training schedule. I wonder, did that have an impact on Kostya Tszyu in this fight, and was that part of the reason why Hatton was fresher during the course of this match? It's one thought.
Well, Ricky Hatton enjoying his coming out party. 16-0 in Manchester. He's the new IBF Junior Welterweight champion. Tszyu goes to 31-2 with 1 no decision. Ending a 13-fight win streak dating back to 1997 when Tszyu lost to Vince Phillips. Tszyu being acknowledged by the crowd now. Ricky Hatton joining Vince Phillips, the only fighters to beat Kostya Tszyu. After the announcement from the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr., we'll endeavor to find out exactly what went on in that corner between the 11th and 12th rounds for Kostya Tszyu. Well, let's see what this T-shirt says for Ricky Hatton. No doubt to be saluted momentarily by this sellout crowd. Yes, indeed, there is only one Ricky Hatton. Here's Hatton's reaction when he hears it's over. Here we go, Jimmy.
This bout has been stopped at the end of round number 11. Our referee in charge, Parris, stops the contest upon suggestion of the corner. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and now the new IBF light welterweight champion of the world, Ricky the Hitman